Sofali, Miti Lado. Is that how they warm up? I'm just kidding. What's up? It's Joe with OCDetailing, and I want to walk you through the new Model Y. So I have two of them here. Yesterday, did a really cool delivery at the factory. They had a big party there. It was all kinds of fun. They gave us a tour. They told us all about the engineering on the car. And now I want to walk you through my thoughts and opinions on it. So I was super excited about this Tesla. So I wanted to buy one because when I saw the Tesla Model 3, the redesigned Model 3, I thought it was the nicest Tesla that had ever been made. And that's comparing it against an S, an X, and even a Cybertruck. Like the interior, they knocked it out of the park. It felt so much quieter than the other Teslas I'd driven, so I knew the Y was gonna be a big hit. So I wanted one for myself, just to use to haul stuff around and be a little driver around town. So I got one. Now, let me take you through it. So first impressions when I look at it, it's very obviously a Tesla Model Y, and it didn't look all that different from the outgoing one. But I had the privilege of talking to one of the designers of the car, a couple of the engineers of the car, and I learned the ins and outs of it. And this is actually a very, very different car than the outgoing version. Starting from the aesthetics of the lights to the little stuff like they did a hydrophobic coating on the inside of the windshield that stops off-gassing. The engineers thought of that because the engineers were all people that had driven these cars and experienced any of these downfalls or these things that people complain about. And instead of just letting it happen, they were like, hey, we have the free reign to figure this out, which is actually really cool. Kudos by Tesla, because every new car I've ever owned off gases for like 6 months, 8 months, and you get that weird film on your windshield, and it's super annoying. And that comes from the new materials inside the car being put together with whatever glues and whatever adhesives they're using, and then the materials themselves from the manufacturing process gassing off. And when that happens, we get this film on the windshield that is super hard to clean, and Alex just walked into a lamp and hit his head on it. That's awesome. Are you okay? Okay. So again, really cool that Tesla gives their engineers permission to do that, because I've never seen another car company do it. I've never seen anybody else take the time to try to figure out these little nuances from one generation of a car to another. A lot of times they just carry over or they just go away completely, right? But they really went all out to try to fix the nuances of this car. So the visual cues, I don't know quite how I feel about it yet, whether it looks better or worse than the old car, because the Model Y was such a good looking car for the SUV that it was. I think it'll grow on me. They made the car sleeker. They made it look a little bit more modern. They did this really cool light bar in the front. It's crazy because it's just like the Cybertruck. Everyone thinks the light bar would be where the headlights are, but that's not it. The headlights are actually lower on this car. They're right here. Now, from my standpoint as somebody who wraps cars and installs PPF, I see this big recess right here, and I think, wow, that's gonna be a little bit hard to get a piece of film down in there, but I'm sure we'll figure it out because that's what we do. The rest of the car, you know, they made the other fun things they did for PPF installers is this weird line on the mirror here. It's not weird, they did it for aerodynamics, I asked, so apparently this makes the car a little bit more efficient. But again, getting PPF to sit down in this little recess will be a challenge for the guys, but again, I know we'll figure it out because we have two cars here to practice on, including my own. Also on the front camera on the windshield, so cool. So I've experienced this because every other Friday I drive pretty far to go pick my daughter up, and then on my way back I drive right into the sun, and I'm usually in my Model X when I do that drive, and it always says autopilot degraded, and it's because the sun's right on the camera. So the new camera housing on this car has some black material in there that doesn't reflect light, so that it eliminates that problem. So this car will never have that issue driving right into bright sunlight. It should never affect your ability to use your full self-drive or your autopilot. Again, this car is actually highly focused on being set up as to be able to be a robo-taxi. So they wanted to take out any of the problems that could require a person to interfere with the driving. Now, moving right along to the back of the car, the other big visual difference is going to be this hatch and this big, huge light bar. Now, this light bar is actually really cool because it's all one piece. Again, it's one thing to see it, but to talk to the guy who designed it and the thought he put into it, and to see how passionate it was and how much he cared about the way that this worked and looked on the car and how it was actually supposed to be very different than anything ever done. It was really, really inspiring. And like me and Alex were at the factory and we're talking to the guy that helped design this light. He said they had to make a custom press because this is all one piece. And it's a custom 5-ton press or something to be able to produce this plastic in this shape. all in one piece with these lights in it. And because they're liquid crystal LEDs, but they project down and it bounces off of this. So basically this thing always looks lit up, and it doubles as a brake light too. Now, me personally, when I look at the back of this, it looks very modern. I still think it needs to grow on me because I think this looks a little unproportionate, but I'm sure it'll grow on me actually. I remember feeling that way several times when I looked at new cars, and then eventually I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. One neat thing is that because this is a launch edition car, because we picked our cars up on launch day, we get this neat badge that signifies that we had a bunch of we got a bunch of goodies with the car, and I'll walk you through all that stuff. And we also got a bunch of extras that came as part of this launch edition package. And then we also got early deliveries, right? So I think Tesla picked up on what they did with the Cybertrucks with the Foundation series. So I have one of those too. And they're like, hey, you know what? Some customers want to be first and they want to get the extras. So why don't we offer them that option? So we'll put out a series of the car that's unique just to the people that buy them first. So that's the launch edition. And walking you through the specs of the launch edition, it's a dual motor long range, but they did a speed boost on it. So it's a little bit faster than the standard one. This sits somewhere around the 4-second mark, 0 to 60, which is, I'm imagining the performance will come in around the 3-second, and then the regular dual motor will come in around 5-second. So it's right in the middle there, which my wife drove it yesterday. She just wanted to see because she thought it was going to be really slow. And first thing she did, she romped on it. And bear in mind, she's used to driving a Plaid X or my Z06 around, which are both not slow cars. But she was like, oh, this is perfect. It doesn't feel slow at all. I thought it was going to feel slower than this. So it has adequate power to get done what you need to. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show on this car is that they did some really cool redesigns on the interior, and I think that's actually the best part about this, because again, the outside of this car, if you were to look at it, you might not notice all the little subtle nuances and the things that Tesla tried really hard to make different. If you're not a big Tesla fanboy or not into Tesla, you're just like, oh, it's just another Model Y. But the interior of this car, I'm going to show you on this car because this one's got a white interior. We'll show you the black interior on mine. I have a white interior on my Model X, and I have 2 kids, and the white interior in a Model X with 2 kids is hard to keep up, even for somebody who has OCD and likes to keep their stuff clean. And my wife's very OCD too, but we found it challenging at best, but we have kept it looking really nice with just some basic care. Still, more work than I wanted to do for this car. So first thing you're gonna notice, the door panels are very different. They have this built-in lighting here, kind of like that comes in the Cybertruck. I'm sure you can change the color on it. Also, you have this launch series puddle light that reflects down when you open the door. Is it on all 4 of the doors? Or just the back fronts? I think it's just the fronts. So, launch series when you open the front doors. Inside here, this whole dash. Now, if you remember, the original Model Y had this big wooden piece right here that a lot of people would wrap. I never quite understood why on the Model 3 and Y there was like one random piece of wood in the car. I thought just in case, although Tesla says their cars can float and drive in the water, I was like, maybe if you crash into the ocean, this could be used as a flotation device. You just grab the wood off your dash and then float away, and hopefully everything's okay. But this one actually did it in this matching felt here. I know in my car it's a black Alcantara, but on the white, I guess they did gray. So also going into the middle of the car here, something that I personally, you know, when our Model X has the buttons on the steering wheel for the turn indicators, it drives me crazy. So they put a stock here. This is actually very cool that they did that. And then it's really simple. You know, they've got the standard screen, center console here. It's a little bit more boxy than the original Y. So this is a little more, not as rounded, but it's basically the same thing, same compartments. The seats are different. They're a lot more comfortable than the original Y, and they're also ventilated. Could you get ventilated seats on the old Y? I don't think they were. Yeah, just heated. So these are ventilated too. I noticed that when I was driving home yesterday that I had ball chillers. Good job, guys. Everyone wants cool balls. So ball chillers, ball seaters, ball heaters, ball seaters, whatever you want to call it. The top looks very similar, but I need to be like very clear on this. This glass is very different than the glass that's in the outgoing car. So what I was told is this glass was designed to make the car much more quiet, to the point where the car is almost too quiet, is what the engineer said. He said it's much quieter than some of the electric cars he tested, and that was by design, because one of the big complaints on these cars is that with the electric cars, you hear a lot of road noise, so it makes them loud inside, so they wanted to really make the inside of this car super quiet. And now it feels super premium to me. Like the original Model Y and Model 3 did not feel cheap, but it didn't feel like a premium car, right? So in the same price range of this car, and I was looking, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm about to spend $68,000 on a car. What else is in that price range? What else do I have options here that are similar to this car? You look at a BMW X3 M50i, or you look at the Mercedes GLE, the smaller Mercedes, or you look at like an Audi Q5, and those are very nice cars. They really are. And I've had Audis, and I've had Porsches and stuff, and I'm like, okay, for the amount of money I'm spending, for what I'm going to use it for the amount of time that I'd rather the car just drive for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to pick this one. And before, like, I will say this, for as much as my Model X cost, it does not feel like anywhere near as premium as my Audi did that cost about the same. Like, the inside just does not feel as nice. This car feels very nice. Like, it feels like it exactly what it costs. It's like you feel like you have a premium interior on this. Even the stitching is really nice, right? It's a nice touch. They did stitching on the dash. It's all straight, you know, so it doesn't look all wobbly, which, let's hop in the back seat. My child was sitting back here and he immediately found the screen. So one thing that's different from this car to the older ones did not have this screen. This only came in like the S and the X. Sitting back here, it feels very similar to the old Y. You have the giant roof that is makes you feel like you're very open. Plenty of room back here, even with the seat. I scooted the seat all the way up here because we were going to be filming. I thought Alex was going to jump back here with me. The continuing theme of the nice Alcantara on the door panels and this gray suede here that they matched it on the dash. So I feel like from the white car to the black car, I get more Alcantara than him. He gets white leather inserts versus I get black Alcantara inserts, which to preference, whichever you like, but I actually love Alcantara, so that's great. So I'm sitting here, I've got this cool mood lighting that I can change. I also have a screen here that's like an arcade, so my kids, if they're back here, they can play games. But again, very roomy back here. You would never feel constricted. It's got, let's see, did they change anything about the center seat? Nope, couple extra cup holders here. That's just like in the old one. Some exposed hardware, which makes no sense, but it's still a Tesla. Oh, the electric up and down, right?
Yeah. What happens if you're sitting there like that?
Oh, here, try. Okay, so this has electronic up and down seats. So the seat will go down electronically and come back electronically.
Fold you?
Can he fold me? Let's see.
Oh no.
Oh no, it won't do it if I'm sitting here. It knows.
Cool.
The engineers thought of everything. Also, you could subtract it. I click this button to subtract it so I can leave the middle down in case you have like skis or something here. Or if you have that one child that never sits still and you just want to throw them in the trunk, but you still want to be able to see them. Speaking of throwing people in the trunk, let's see. So there's this thing that folds up like that. Oh, pretty intuitive if you know how to do it. Now, if I pull this off, you get, see, I think this is the same as the old one, isn't it? Looks pretty similar, right? So you got trunk space down here. You got two little cubby pockets. And right there, you got some extra space for like, I don't know, like half a dead body. And the rest of it could go there. Yeah, so plenty of space in here. They're very utilitarian. They can hold anything you need to. I'm told, again, the glass was, all the glass on this car is like a third thicker or more on some of it than this car, even the sunroof, which contributes to the reason that it's so much quieter than the other one. Now, I will say this, when I was picking my car up, okay, I remember when I picked my Model X up, I was at the Tesla factory, and the guys came outside to tell me, the guys, they were all so nice, and all the guys worked so hard. I know everyone at that factory works insanely hard. The guys were telling me how they checked over the car and everything was so perfect with it, and they wanted to make sure my car was great. And I'm standing there looking, I could see like a dent down the side. I just took the keys and left. I was like, whatever, I'll fix it. So when I picked this one up, same thing, I didn't want to like attack the lady or beat on her or be super insane, but now that I have the car inside the shop here, you know, there's a dent on it right there. There's dust nibs on the hood. There's scratches on it. Now, I do believe I bought the best car for the money. I also don't believe that those other cars would have been delivered that way. So, but with Tesla, it's weird. We just kind of accept that sometimes the cars will have stuff wrong with them. Now, that being said, I'm sure if I reached out to my delivery advisor and I said, hey, there's a dent on my car right here, or hey, the paint got blended right here and I can see it, or there's dust and a scratch on my hood, they would do their best to make it right for me and fix it. But I'll just take care of it myself because it's kind of what I do. And we're gonna wrap this car a different color anyways. Let's talk about the wheels now, because we have both options of wheels here. I actually like this aero cover. Now for me personally, I will buy a set of aftermarket wheels the second these tires die. So that's my MO. When I buy a car, I buy it with the cheapest wheels I can. I let the tires die and then I buy new wheels. That gives me plenty of time to get any learning curves out of the way, just in case that happens to me or my wife. Probably my wife. Not usually me, most likely my wife, but so somebody needs to get learning curves out of the way, getting used to driving the car, the size of it and everything else. And then when the tires go, we'll buy some aftermarket wheels and put it on there. I love these wheels though. They look pretty cool. So the bigger wheels, these are 21s versus those are 19, or wait, are these 20s or 21s? These are 20s, right? Oh, these are 20s and those are 19s. So these are the 20-inch wheels and those are the 19-inch wheels. These look really cool. They did a great job with this. It kind of, it's very Tesla-ish with the star centerpiece here. I'm curious, what do these look like under the wheel cap? Squirrel. Let's pull it off and see. Oh. I saw these at the factory. I saw a car with these on the factory and I was like, what wheel option is that? Here. That actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, actually, if that wheel was bigger, it would be perfect. And they're already like, what is that, Uber turbine? I think they're the same wheel as the performance turbine wheels. Let me snap these back on. Let's see how easy they are to come off and on. They feel pretty flimsy. Oh yeah, so because we got launch edition cars, oh here, let's open the frunk. Let's check out the frunk. So, pretty cool. When I got in the car, because it's a launch edition, they gave me a launch series water bottle, a Tesla water bottle. They must think I need to stay hydrated. And then they also give you nothing. But in the frunk, oh, this is really cool. Check this out. So inside of this frunk, they actually have a drain in it now. So you could literally use this as an ice chest. So that's what the engineer said, is like, you could use this as an ice chest. So I've always wanted to have a live crab feed tank in the front of my car. So I could put it here. And then I could use the Cybertruck as a kitchen. We could have crabs here, and then I could drain the ice later and cook them in the Cybertruck, and we could do a crab feed right on the side of the road with 2 Teslas. Wouldn't that be awesome? I'm just kidding. I don't think I would actually do that, but it sounded funner in my head. But yeah, trunk space up here is about the same, or frunk space is about the same. Oh, another thing the engineer said they did that was really cool. So if anybody remembers, this is your windshield wiper fluid. It used to be over here, so you would have to kind of do some acrobatics. And for the people that are really short, they would have trouble probably getting, like, they have to do this number to get windshield wiper fluid in, but now it's very easy. It's right there. And what else came with it for being a launch series? Oh, look. See it? Can you see it on the camera?
See one more. Oh, is it the scratch?
No, it's a dust nib in the hood. Here. See the dot?
Oh yeah, I see the dot.
See it?
Yeah, I see it.
And then the big scratch right here. Look. See, woo. Here. There's so many dots in this paint. We're gonna wrap this a different color, so we don't have to see any of that. Oh yeah, so being a launch series, they gave me a CCS combo 1 adapter. They gave me a free wall charger. So I got to get that installed at my house. They also gave me 2 water bottles some puddle lights, a badge on the back of my car, a speed boost, a tour of the factory, a little stick that had an olive, cheese, and ham on it. So they called it a charcuterie stick. They also gave my child a Cybertruck that he could color. They give Alex a little Tesla that he could take home to his kid. And then, oh, they gave us a ride around the test track. That's what you get for getting a launch series. So you got all those cool things and an updated Model Y that is far superior to the original one for so many reasons other than just the few aesthetic keys that are obvious. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe with OCDetailing. Please subscribe for more videos.